Yo, what's going on, y'all? Apologies in advance for however rusty or rambly this might be. I'm sitting in my car in the rain right now on the East Coast, enjoying a reprieve from the 100-degree temps. You know what I'm saying? Um, I watched Lil Bill's car videos or whatever, so I got a little inspired, and here we go. We're gonna see where this goes. If y'all really want me to dive deeper into these things we're gonna talk about today, I might do that in a Substack or whatever. Let me know how y'all feel. Again, I am quite rusty. I did used to be a hip hop journalist after a fashion on a freelance side. So there are some bona fides there if you want them. Again, we can get into that later. But just a disclaimer at the beginning: I'm out of my element a little bit, so bear with me. With that being said, the this conversation about Lupe Fiasco, in particular, this last week, 2 weeks rather, at this point, of headlines with him going on people's platforms and you know what I'm saying, going back and forth. This has gotten pretty ugly at this point, man. It has, and not just because of the content itself or his opinion or whatever. I think that not I think what we can see is very clear is the fandom and Lupe are caught in what I think you call an epistemic trap. Okay. To get to that real quick, the when I say epistemic, the word epistemology, right? This is the study of belief, the nature of belief, foundation of belief, ideas, things like that. So, a term from philosophy. Um, there's this idea out there that Lupe Fiasco is bitter and resentful and hates Kendrick Lamar's guts because Kendrick Lamar is everything that Lupe Fiasco wished that he could have been, and he's been using his platform. Lupe's been using his platform over the last however many years to disparage Kendrick Lamar, to be overly critical of Kendrick Lamar, and to downplay Kendrick Lamar's ability and artistry, because Lupe, again, is resentful, and also because Lupe believes he is better than him. Okay, this is the core claim. Okay, and that claim, that argument, that idea comes from early on. I believe I want to put a year to this and be wrong, but I want to say it was like 2017, 2016, maybe I don't know. I don't remember when it was, but Lupe did an interview on Hot 97 with Ebro Rosenberg, Laura Stiles, and Ebro and Rosenberg, who are familiar behind the scenes, right? They're ribbing each other about music opinions, whatever, kind of some barbershop talk, and Lupe makes a joke about how Rosenberg said something to prompt this, right? But like Lupe made a joke about how Kendrick Lamar ain't even the best lyricist at the time. He named Logic and some other people that he felt were better lyricists than Kendrick Lamar. And he might not have even caveated that as lyricist at that time. I can't recall, but I believe he has since, or he after the fact did clarify that he was talking strictly about lyricism. Not that it helped him much. But that kind of started this whole thing about Lupe being jealous about Kendrick, right? And fast forward to the beef, 2024. At that point, Lupe was speaking with some other guy, I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say Averb. It was Averb, battle rapper, if I'm not mistaken. They're talking about rapping and all that, whatever, because there's a big battle happening, and Lupe is like talking to Averb about like, yo, man, like, do you think Kendrick Lamar's dangerous as a lyricist, like given your ability, like as a battle rapper? Da, da, da. And Averb's like, nah, and Lupe's like, okay, well, me either. That's all I'm saying, Look at the headlines from that time, from that situation. They don't read like that. They don't read like that. They read like they read right now, where, oh, Lupe's hated it, and it's like, dude, man, going back to the epistemic trap thing. If this is the idea and this is the claim that everybody is operating from, this foundation, like you're working from here, it becomes very difficult to penetrate that with like facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like everything that is going to be said is going to be filtered from the fandom's perspective, because they're the ones who believe, a portion of them believe this claim. Everything that Lupe says or does is going to be filtered through that lens. You know what I'm saying? So, And in reality, at this point, it don't matter if he actually is jealous or whatever of Kendrick. Everything he said is going to be, again, refracted through that prism. All right. This gets even nastier to me when we're not talking about just like the facts of events. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about deep, like what he believes, what he feels, what he claims he feels, ideas he has, right? If we're at the point where a man can tell you that he feels this way or doesn't feel this way multiple times over the course of years, and you just don't believe it, and you just carry on as if like he's lying about his own self, I don't know what we're doing, man. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Lupe should do with that, but I do believe that like it's in our interest. It's in the interest of sound thought for us as fans in the media to do nothing with that. Okay? If you're not going to engage with whether or not these notions are based in any type of reality, leave it alone, man. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. The man, yes, he has been speaking about Kendrick for a long time. He's also repeatedly said he loves Kendrick Lamar. He brought him out for a reason in Chicago early, right? He considers Kendrick a far better artist than him. He has better discography, better picks, better beats, all these things. Pardon me. Which he clarified recently in his recent saga here. So if you can't, you know, if you can engage with both of those ideas simultaneously, that Kendrick, or excuse me, Lupe might be jealous or whatever of Kendrick, and Lupe claims to love Kendrick, like out his mouth he says that multiple times. Again, I'm not sure what we're doing or how we move forward, because on a human level, one thing that I can't relate to these guys, any of these guys. Like, these guys are rich, famous, whatever. What I can relate to on a human level is being misunderstood. Okay. Sorry, my eyes are going over. I don't know where this lens is at to look at. Sorry, I'm on my phone. But anyway, I don't appreciate being misunderstood, man. Like, you ain't gotta agree with me. That's fine. You ain't even gotta like me. It's cool. But like, if we're having a discussion, a back and forth, and I'm telling you what my position is, like, it like I don't respect if you, like, I say all this and then you just like skirt past it and act like I didn't say nothing or whatever, or you just carry on with your piece, and I feel like I'm just a passenger in your monologue at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's not a discussion no more. So I've seen this happen to Lupe, and we'll get into real quick the specific claims that have gone viral, right? Like the whole, there's 100 rappers better than Kendrick, 100 rappers even better than Nas at this point. And let's look at this, like, right? Let's take a step back. There are hundreds, he said, there's hundreds of rappers better than Kendrick Lamar. People are responding, making a ton of content based on how outlandish that claim is. The problem is when you go back and look at the stream with the due quality or whatever. That's not the claim. That's not the claim. That's not what was said. And shout out to Professor Sky. I do believe he was the one that said this. This last couple of weeks isn't. You can see there's a big difference between what was said and what was heard. Okay. Lupe said there's all these lyricists, and I can name them and all that. Like that, the context there was lyricist, right? That's layer one. There's layer one. There's layers to this. Layer one, there's lyrics. These are lyricists we're talking about. Layer two, Lupe's personal definition of lyricism, which is a highly technical definition coming from his background as an educator at this point, and I think that's relevant. And remember, it's a technical definition, and it's his definition. And shout out to King Green, because he just made a video about this. One of the issues we have in hip hop in general is that there are a lot of this space moves like very quickly, like artistically. The energy moves very quickly and intuitively. and the vocabulary and the things that are important in the academic spaces and in the business spaces, all these other spaces, they have not kept pace. And I'm not saying won't say that's by design, but with hip hop being a counterculture, that is to be expected. And here we are. So I think you have folks like Lupe, you got folks like Mickey Fax, and others who are moving into the academic space and actually trying to apply. I mean, not just them, by the way, but they're trying to apply. Hip hop is trying to apply definitions and vocabulary to what it is that we have been doing for decades now. At this point, 50 years, right? So there is no canonical definition of lyricism as it pertains to rap right now. There's an intuition that a lot of us share, and I think that a salute to Lupe and others for trying to get something like this more technical on the books. But you at this point can disagree with that technical definition. It's fine. It is what it is. I happen to disagree with that framework. I think there's just too much left on the table there. But there's a quote, right, where it's the mark of intellect is the ability to entertain an argument and not accept it or something like that, right? So I try to do that. I try to live by that. I wish more people would, but I don't have to accept or agree with his definition to use it as a working definition for the discussion as it pertains to what he's saying. Okay, so if these are the parameters he's set, and this is the definition he's working from, okay, you can find hundreds of people better than Nas or Kendrick or whatever. All right, cool, whatever. Again, my response would be well, I'm not sure how much that matters if they are quote better with all those constraints applied. When what I'm saying is it becomes it's kind of a vacuous statement, really, if you really got to it. But we can't get to it because people aren't actually engaging with what he said, right? They're not engaging with the constraints. If you got criticism of the constraints, fine, make them, but let's not ignore them and then turn around and disparage him for making a position or taking a position that he did not take. Okay, I just think that is just wild work. That's wild work to me. Wild work to me. There's a whole lot to go into with this, man, and I probably should have a script, and maybe I will for the next one. Because I thought we were kind of done with this topic, to be honest with you. He did the Culture United. Lupe did the Culture United last week. I watched most of his input on there, and some of the super chat part after he left or whatever, and some Justin Hunt. Shout out to Justin Hunt, company man. Some of his convo with man, I'm not familiar with the brothers, but they did a show with Lupe as well. The rap roundtable or something like that. Shout out to them if that's the name. Apologies if it's not. But some of this was in that discussion as well, by the way, the rap roundtable one. But anyway, yeah, I thought we were kind of done here because Lupe went up there. He said a couple things that were really strange, or he's things I said or things I heard this week or whatever. Because Justin asked him yo, what's your feelings on Kendrick? Trying to get some clarity, and he's like, nah, man, based on what I heard this week, it's whatever, And turned out things he heard this, last week, where he was exposed to some old footage of Kendrick joking on, or Kendrick and Punch in a live stream joking on Lupe or whatever, as well as an old freestyle Kendrick did where he does mention Lupe by name, by the way. People who shout out to Screwface John, but hey, man, if you guys gonna act like, Lupe came out of nowhere with the SLR2 response to Control or whatever, oh, he didn't mention him at all. He mentioned him before that. So anyway, I thought we were done because apparently Justin Hunt got Lupe and Punch on the phone and they hashed it out. But and Punch made a tweet. Lupe, I think, liked the tweet, or he did something with the tweet to endorse it, basically, or what can be seen as an endorsement. And thought he was good. So I was like, oh, well, I bought this stuff to make videos in my car for nothing. But here we are on the Monday, and this is still going. I seen Mac Wap made some content around it the other day. He's like, I know you spoke to the big homie Punch, whatever, but you ain't talked to me. And it's on the one hand, yeah, man, I do wish that we can get Kendrick Lamar's perspective on these conversations, like from him directly. Uh, but I feel like if if we're hitting for punch, I gotta think that on some level, there's cooler heads prevailing there. Regardless, MacWop's got content. I saw BK made a video after the BK is one of the hosts of Culture United, Culture United. Shout out to her. She made a video about it seems like some drama between some creators behind us. I don't know what that video really was, to be honest, or what it was in response to. But yeah, people were quite rude and mean in the comments to everybody, including Lupe, but the entire, like, everybody on the show. I mean, everybody on the show. And yeah, man, it's like we turned a corner on this topic, and it's coming back into the news cycle, or it's remaining in the news cycle, but now it's flipped into an even more negative direction where we're just straight up attacking Lupe Fiasco at this point, kind of for everything. And like I said, man, I don't appreciate the how do I say this without sounding extra weird, like the bad thought engagement that's going on here around this topic. Bro, the man has not been like saying like whatever about Kendrick for all these years. And if it was the case that he has also been saying like singing his praises for as long, or about as long. So, I mean, I think there should be some ability to engage at both of those points intelligently. I think that people should take people at their word, until better evidence presents itself, right? And don't tell me the better evidence is, oh, he said this other thing to counter it, because he said things to counter that other thing you're talking about too. So yeah, bro, like, he's telling you that he don't feel a way about the dude. You gotta leave it alone at that point. As far as the epistemic trap thing, yeah, man, Lupe, there's no way out of that, bro. There's no way out of it. There's nothing you can do. I've seen a lot of the content. I'm a big Lupe fan, big Kendrick fan as well. I've seen a lot of the content, and a lot of conversations. Each time they pop up, I've seen the caveating that Lupe does. I've seen him trying to, frame the discussion a certain kind of way and do all that. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. It don't matter. You're better off at this point keeping that discussion either behind closed doors or in the academic space where people are, more cognitively equipped to deal with it. Because whether it's a cognitive failing, like intellectual failing in the fandom, in the public, or like just bad faith and a willful, pursuit of engagement, or all of the above, man. Like, just leave it alone, bro. Just leave it alone. All right, man. I rambled enough. I will get up with y'all probably with something else, another topic or whatever. Again, it's been a while since I really rapped about hip hop, or rap music, as a media, from the media perspective, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, I'm tired of just watching y'all yap and commenting, and then getting flamed in the comments. Like, flame me in these comments. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Peace.